Object locking is a powerful feature. There might be times where you need to secure some objects stored in an S3 bucket from being deleted or modified. And we can do this through S3 object locking. But the thing is, it's one of those features that you have to enable when you create the bucket. For instance, let's open up an existing bucket I've got here called bucket YHZ. I'll click to open it up. We're going to go to the properties tab for the bucket, and I'm going to scroll down, and there's object lock. Let's click on it. And it says object lock can be enabled only when a bucket is created. If you're not sure if you're going to need these kinds of options to prevent modification of the contents of S3, maybe to regulatory compliance or maybe for legal hold reasons, maybe you've been instructed by your legal department to enable legal hold for some objects in S3 because they might be used in a court of law. And for admissibility in a court of law, there needs to be a way to prove that the data was tamper-proof. So given that we can only do this upon creation time, it might be a good idea to create buckets with the option on. And then you can determine if you actually want to use it after the fact. Okay, I'm going to close out of that. We're going to create a new bucket here. So I'm going to go back to the Amazon S3 Management Console. I'm going to click Create Bucket. This we'll call Bucket YYY. And I'm going to click Next. Now, on this page here, the second page of the wizard here for Configure Options, if I scroll down under Advanced, there's Object Lock. However, I can't turn it on. If I just read a little bit further, the fine print below it, it says Object Lock requires bucket versioning. Let's turn on versioning up at the top here. Let's go back down and try it again. Yeah, that worked. Object lock is now enabled. Okay, let's go through and accept the rest of the defaults to get the bucket created. There's our new bucket, bucket YYY. If I click to open it up and go to the properties, sure enough, if we go down under advanced settings, there's the object lock panel. It's permanently enabled. If I click on object lock, we have some other options. We can enable governance mode. Now it says very clearly here, if you do this, governance mode can be disabled by AWS accounts that have the appropriate IAM permissions. But if you enable something called compliance mode, it cannot be disabled by anybody, not even the AWS root account. That's interesting. So depending on your legal or regulatory requirements, will determine whether you enable governance or compliance mode. Now, either way, if you were to choose governance mode, you have a retention period, the default of which is 1 day. The same thing is true for compliance mode. What does this mean? That really means for how long compliance or governance mode, or in other words, how long objects will be locked, after which you can then delete them if you need to. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on